Let's see if this works. Happy Saturday, welcome. Live stream from the cozy downstairs fireplace because it was so cold to go walking today. It was 30 degrees Fahrenheit and I thought, I was tearing up. I'm gonna sit somewhere nice and cozy for our live stream today. Hello, my brilliant, beloved masters. I'm calling you that because that's what you are. Beautiful, brilliant, beloved, and I like alliteration, beloved masters. Thank you for joining me on this surprise live from a very chilly day in Wisconsin. You know, I like to sit outside on the front deck to do live streams. Actually, I like to do live streams pretty much anywhere I am in the world. The more interesting, the better. And today we're doing a little bit more cozy indoor live stream, and this is part 2 of our cosmic musings. Oh, I love this theme so much. Bring your existentialism, your questions, your own pondering of anything that's you think is just too weird or odd or strange. It's, you know, open game here. You're in no judgment zone with Amie. Today, part 2, we're going to be getting into that in just a second. This is a test of your self-mastery, one of many, and that's the theme for today of part 2. We're going to be getting into what is this test, and it might surprise you. It's one that a lot of people struggle with, and as you know, I love the theme of self-mastery because that's why we incarnated, why we came here, and remembering who we truly are. And it's all about remembering who we are, our power, and our connection to all souls in oneness. I am you, you are me. It's all about unconditional love and expansion. And I love that too, because we've had some adventures through time and space throughout the eons, many of us, and we're finding each other again now more than ever. And I love that. I love seeing fellow souls, and it's like this soul recognition that I've been having with so many other beautiful masters. Maybe it's the first time we're seeing each other in our human character, you know, our current meat suit. But there's this soul recognition of like, I know you, you know me. We've danced before. We've gone on adventures through time and space. So I love recognizing souls through that aha, revelatory epiphany. We know each other. We just are in different vessels that we pilot through this incarnation. And so that's a really unexpectedly a nice little segue into my tee up for our theme today. I posted a couple posts down earlier this morning, this really beautiful meme, and it says, you go out searching for the world for treasure, but the true treasure is yourself. And that's something that I've been talking about a lot over the years, and it's really been integrating and crystallizing for me. Like heaven on earth is you, heaven on earth is me. It's our consciousness waking up and re-remembrance of who we truly are. It's not some place or time. Heaven on earth is each soul remembering, you know, and we've really stacked the deck when we come here. The amnesia is legit to re-remember through everything that we've given ourselves the opportunity to forget. And we do. I mean, I say bravo to the fellow souls that are re-remembering and then helping others who are ready to remember as well. What an adventure. This is not a dull existence whatsoever. Cheers, by the way, my MO. I drink a nice healthy beverage on camera. This is a green smoothie that I made from fruits and vegetables from my own garden in the backyard and my cousin's farm down the street. Cheers. Ooh, yeah. It's a lot of kale from my backyard. Not kale, Swiss chard. So good. Blueberries, watermelon. We're at the end of our watermelon. Cheers. And why I love that meme so much, when you really get it. So we're going to diverge from the theme of part 2 just for a second, but stay with me. It's going to tie in nicely. And also say hi, where you're joining from, what part of the world, fireside here in Wisconsin with me. Hopefully a nice warm setting, maybe Florida, sooner than later. And as you know, I like to do live streams from the beach. 30 degrees wind chill. It's not gonna get a whole lot higher than 40 today wind chill. It's too cold for me. I don't adapt. I'm a tropics gal. So we are, and I say this with no judgment because all judgment is self-judgment. This is a judgment-free zone here. When we come in with all this amnesia, we forget who we are. And there are only a few souls, a handful of souls that have total remembrance. One of them is Yogananda. If you've ever watched or read autobiography of a yogi, Paramahansa Yogananda came in with full memory of who it was, showing up in the meat suit in the human character of male in India. And it's very rare that souls come in with full remembrance. Usually they are an ascended master like he is, and has a very specific purpose to volunteer to come to planet Earth in this incarnation to guide and help other souls. But most of us come in with forgetting. And so in the beginning years, we are so programmed and indoctrinated innocently by our families, by school, friends, society, church. And it takes a rare soul to be aware and conscious of that, observant of that from such an early age. And often, and I'll say this is universal, but planet Earth, we're taught to judge others by what we look like on the outside. And that programming, that prejudgment of what people look like, the meat suit, as I irreverently call this wonderful space suit, skin suit, we're taught to judge it, and some of that can last an entire lifetime with people, the biases and prejudgments and criticism. And even though I am highly aware, and I have been for quite some time, it still gets me. I still fall prey to that programming and indoctrination that we're raised with. So many of us are raised with to prejudge. Like it's deep in our programming to prejudge people by what they look like. Whether we're prejudging and criticizing, maybe because this precious soul, all souls are precious, their physical appearance is what society deems as non-attractive, right? Or ugly, disfigured, whatever the case may be. I could throw out a plethora of adjectives to describe that. And we look and we don't see the soul. We look at the package. And I will admit that I still do this, and I catch myself all the time. I can see now the soul. I have that vision to be able to see and feel in my claircognizance into another soul and see that soul regardless of what the meat suit looks like, right? However, if I'm in a less aware or conscious or high frequency state, I still fall back into that programming that we are innocently, and maybe not so innocently from other sources, indoctrinated to criticize and judge people up front. Hi, Giovanni. Ciao. Welcome. Say hi. What part of the world you're joining from. I like to bounce across at least 3 or 4 continents during a live stream. Hello from Wisconsin, from the cozy fire in my second living room, because it's too cold outside to do a live stream. I'd be like crying involuntary tears because it's so cold. So the other side of the coin is society and all the programming deems other meat suits as attractive and sexy and glamorous and pretty. And so there's so much energy and value misplaced on who looks sexy and has like a pretty body. And I'm not not poo-pooing working out, taking care of oneself, self-care. One of my businesses is in anti-aging. However, and it is important. I'm about anti-aging from the outside in. You know, there's many things that we can do naturally to keep this vessel, this meat suit, in the best form and health and vitality that we can, so we can enjoy this incarnation, this adventure as a physically focused human character for as long as we can. Right? Who wants to end up in a wheelchair at age, 70 or 80, or be stuck in a nursing home when you're living past 100? And many of us, especially if people are taking care of themselves, are going to live 110, 120, and beyond that now. That's going to be the norm. So I absolutely recognize how important it is to take care of this meat suit. But it's not, don't confuse that with one's worth or who we truly are. This is the human character that you happen to know as Amie Chilson in this lifetime, right? This incarnation. And I am far more than that, and so are you. Many of us have danced through the eons throughout time and space and are very, very, very old, very ancient. That's why I say, with a total acknowledgement and appreciation, this lifetime is not boring, man. It is a hoot. And the sooner one wakes up to re-remember who they truly are, it just gets better and better. I'd say it's like a kid on Christmas. Every day it's just like blissed out. Wow. Yeah. And so we know that because of this indoctrination and programming, I will say myself, maybe not you, many people prejudge the outer package, either pretty and beautiful and sexy and worthy and are of higher value, or the opposite. And so back to my meme, we're going out through the world and we're seeking treasure where the treasure is ourselves. And I want to equate this to, I love analogies. As you know me, the storyteller, I'm like analogy, metaphor, bonanza. It helps people stay in the right side of the brain, which is open and creative, and less cynical and critical and closed down, right? Like the left side often is in its analytics. Stay in the right, open, childlike curiosity. Yeshua was badass at doing that. Man, he could just keep people in a trance in the right side of their brain with all his parables. Jesus was a masterful storyteller, man. And that's where one wants to be. He helped people get out of their own way to block the message coming through, and his message was unconditional love as well. And oneness, Christ consciousness, which is not something that we just, believe in Jesus. No, it's behave as Jesus. If you want Christ consciousness, that starts with you, that starts with me. It's living that example. And man, he was masterful at storytelling and helping people get out of their own way, stay on the right side of the brain, open the heart, stay in that heart-centric place, and then the messages can really land and integrate and marinate. So imagine, man, I've gotten off on some tangents, haven't I? I have a tendency. Whoop, come back to the theme. Hey Mark, how's it going? We're getting there. We're almost to the theme of today's live stream, Cosmic Musings Part 2. This is a test of your self-mastery. We're almost there. Well, you know what? Not judging anyone or anything as a test of your self-mastery. I just wasn't inadvertently planning that as the message today. We're almost there. That's why when you really get it, that all judgment is self-judgment, and that's hindering one's self-mastery and growth and rapid evolution, which is, expansion, why we come here, you want to drop that like a hot potato as soon as possible. Just make judgment an impossibility, truly. So imagine every precious divine spark of God, every soul, which is beautiful, precious, loving, worthy. We all have these meat suits, these visages, right? So imagine the treasure chest, and it just looks plain on the outside, just a standard, nothing fancy or sparkly or woo, it's just a humble looking treasure chest, right? And many would just pass it by and automatically assume or prejudge, it's just average, just mediocre. It's nothing great on the outside. I wouldn't even expect to open it and see what's inside there. So it's a prejudgment, right? So I like to imagine this for every soul, every precious soul. It's like, it's a treasure chest. However, you don't know until you open that chest up and like get in there and see like what is in this treasure chest. Like really, if you've seen that show, that movie, I forget what it was. I can't remember the movie name, but anyway, he has a treasure chest, this magician or wizard. He opens it up and it's like this multidimensional world inside his treasure chest. So imagine every human, every soul in human character form is a treasure chest. What looks differently on the outside, and some are sparkly, some are dull, some are corroded with rust, some are faded and all the paint's worn off and they don't look so good, and some are like sparkly with diamonds and gold. But you got to open that treasure chest up and dig in there and jump into that multidimensional world that exists within that treasure chest to know the treasure. And that's every single one of us. We are the treasure. It's not out there in the external so-called world. It's in us. It's our consciousness. And when I got that, it took me until to really, really get that, I'm going to be honest here and vulnerable, 2012. It took me in 2012, I started really getting the absolute beauty and brilliance and power of each soul as a divine spark of God. Because in the past, I had been judgmental. I had been like the left side of my brain, separating myself from others, thinking, I don't want to rub elbows or hang out with souls that are not in my tribe. Like they have to be my frequency and my tribe, and I don't want to hang out with anybody else that's not. So that's ego. That's separatism, right? It's not in oneness, it's in total duality, it's in ego, and it's either one existing in superiority or inferiority when both are not true. All souls are beautiful, precious, worthy, loved, divine sparks of God, just expressing themselves in different ways, different characters. In this incarnation, we are known as our species. We've chosen this before we came as Homo sapiens sapien. We are evolving now rapidly into Homo luminous. But this is just one adventure. We've been infinite species and physical form and non-physical form throughout the multiverse. This is just one, expressed as a Homo sapiens sapien. And so when you really get it, you're like, man, I've been everything, up, down, everything around, and we all have, and we want to, because we're here to expand, and God, source creator, expands through us as divine fractals. So everything's an adventure, everything's perfect. We are infinite, we will never cease to exist, so you might as well have some fun and bliss and get to self-mastery, because that's why we came here. I'm having a hoot in this lifetime. And the sooner one wakes up and remembers the truth of who they are, it just gets better and better. So here, I could probably just end this live stream right there. And I was talking about judgment and criticizing, and there is another point for me to get to, so I'll hang with it here. But quick story before I get into the meat of this theme of Cosmic Musings. By the way, you guys are quiet. Don't be shy. I love interaction and engagement on live streams. I love to hear your questions and your thoughts. So pipe in, say where you're joining from, say hi. So far it's Mark and Giovanni and some other people that I've kind of seen come in and out. This one's loaded with gems, so you want to go back and watch it from the beginning. Truly, if you're here for self-mastery, or your soul, you feel your soul guiding you, tugging you toward that path, this is for you. So back to prejudgment and how programmed we are. I've told stories about how back in the day when I was doing dating, I don't do that anymore, but when I was dating, like I would go out on dates and then guys would tell me after the date, like, and I thought it was like, oh, great conversation, stimulating, riveting topics and this and that. I love to ask questions, I'm a journalist by education and just a storyteller. I love to get to know people, the real person. And I'd ask, how's it going, feedback, and they would tell me like, you're not skinny enough or not pretty enough to go out on dates and you're not my type, and it never bothered me. Like, this is my meat suit. It doesn't have any reflection truly of who I am. The good stuff's on the inside. However, so many people will shoot themselves in the foot and miss out on the opportunity, the treasure, right, in every soul, if you don't open that treasure chest and get in there and see the worlds, the multidimensional worlds that exist in every soul. That's the treasure. That's the good stuff. I remember going out with guys when I was dating and, sometimes adventures, traveling the world, and we'd go out on adventures and they would say, you really grow on me, but I had to get to know you. I think like, yeah, that's what you want to do. You don't want to just prejudge because you're missing out. You're missing out on the treasure, on the magic, on the depth, the multidimensional depth of a soul when we prejudge. The good stuff is the relationships and the adventures and the experiences that we create together to truly get to know another soul. When I meet a soul, especially one that I've danced through the eons, like I can't wait to discover everything that they're willing to share with me about themselves, what makes them tick, and their memories and their adventures and lessons and revelatory moments that have shaped them to where they are in their level of consciousness and evolution right now. Like, that's juicy shit right there. That's what I want to know, and we miss out when we prejudge people, whether we get attached to their physical vessel because we think the programming, oh, it's pretty, it's glamorous, it's sexy, lots of muscles or whatever, right? Curves. That is just the vessel. And I'm not putting down taking care of it. It's just like, or we prejudge because the vessel, the meat suit, to society standards doesn't look so attractive. We're missing out on the good stuff, the treasure, truly. I did not mean to take this. Okay, so now it's kind of like I actually got to eat an even juicier gem of this cosmic musings. It kind of makes what I wanted to talk about less important here. However, we're going to go for it. We're just going to finish quickly this theme because I promised. So what is a test of self-mastery? So if you can go through life without judging others, without judging self, that's where it begins. When you know who you truly are, it is an impossibility to judge. You might have some little remnants of that programming coming up, in the matrix. It's easy to let that go till it becomes just like breathing, commonplace, where you are looking past the meat suit and all you can see, see and know is the beauty of that soul, right? So judging, it could be something happening in life, experiences, something in social media, people. This morning I woke up to some really harsh judgment and I giggled about it. Like last night, so I don't participate in Halloween. I did, especially as a kid, and I had a good old hoot, carving pumpkins, making my own costume, door to door, going and get candy. Like, I had fun with Halloween. I didn't make it about anything else than just as a kid, I was having fun. So I don't participate in it anymore. However, I also don't judge anybody that does, that likes it. Like, to each their own. All right, have at it. I am not judging, because all judgment, self-judgment. To each their own adventure. And life is so much more peaceful when you come from that knowingness. I posted a video in my stories that I saw from one of my businesses, and it was, hey Nasser, how are you? Welcome. Say hi, where are you joining from? It was a girl that had done Halloween makeup, like really intense makeup, like full face, so much work, and it was beautifully done, like very creative. And she was using my favorite facial device that I love so much that me and my sister both carried in our own backpacks in expeditions all the way to top of Mount Kilimanjaro. That's how much I love this device. We couldn't shower for 8 days, and I was doing a documentary film, so I was stinky and gross. At least I wanted my face clean on Mount Kilimanjaro. I love this device so much. It's amazing. It's the #1 beauty device for facial cleansing in the world. This girl does like a demo, how she's able to take off the Halloween makeup. Well, I posted that last night. I'm like, pretty cool. And someone just lit into me. I don't really know them. They were swearing at me, calling me names, saying that I was like a demon for getting involved in Halloween and this and stuff. I had a nice old laugh at them, like, wow, someone's really into judgment there. Test of self-mastery, you know? And typically, I have like a 1 rule strike. If someone lashes out like that, it just tells me that we're not in alignment to be friends on Facebook. So, you know, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, this is going on both Facebook and YouTube. So when that happens, like, you know, I'll just block. I'm like, I don't really put a lot of thought into it. And in fact, it's hardly any energy. But I was just like, all judgment, self-judgment. So that person, that soul is wrestling right now with some inner judgment and self-judgment and turmoil, where they have not been able to evolve to the place yet where they can just allow and want to allow every soul to be on their own journey. Far more peaceful. Allowance, just let everyone be. We don't know the ins and outs of their journeys, their soul contracts and agreements, their purpose and themes that they chose for this incarnation. We barely know our own. So, you know, it's really easy to let go of judgment when you realize that. You're like, why would I ever do that? I'm just hurting myself. And so let's get to this, a test of self-mastery, because it's all about self-mastery. And it's fun. This is so much fun. What an adventure. That's why I like to use the word adventure, because it's open and curious and creative, and like it's a quest, a hero's journey. And the more you can go through life without judgment and loving, hopefully unconditionally, we're all getting back to that. We're all walking each other home on this grand quest. The more that you can clap and cheer and bravo and uplift, prop up every other soul, don't throw shade, don't criticize, don't judge, is a huge test of our self-mastery. And a lot of people, precious souls, and this is an inner reflection of where they are in their consciousness, are jealous, envious, hateful, spiteful. They want to tear down other souls versus uplift them, put them on their shoulders, uplift them, believe the best in them, see the best in them. As you know, I call you, I address you as I see you, my beautiful, brilliant, beloved masters, because that's what you are, and that's how I see you and hold you in my heart. This is a test of your self-mastery. Hi Sanjeev, namaste, welcome. Say hi, where you're joining from. The more that you can uplift every other soul and not go into jealousy, not enough, not worthy enough programs, is what's driving people, that separateness, separation, ego, driving them to feel separate from every other soul, when that is not the truth. We are all one, expressing ourselves in different characters right now. That's a huge test. let that one, like, put that in your reticular activating system today and really play with this. Try this on for size. When do you ever feel that knee-jerk judgment or criticism or jealousy? Because that is a test of self-mastery. And that will slow one's evolutionary process until they can let that go, release that, and know the truth about themselves. And it's all love. It's love. You can hear this in like all the stories and ancient texts and songs and ascended masters, until one internalizes this. And this is part of the inner voyage, our hero's journey to truly know oneself. So this is it will limit someone's journey of self-mastery if they are in a place that they cannot uplift and prop up and just cheer every other soul on. That's actually hindering themselves. Hey Keith, how's it going? Where are you these days? Say hi, where are you joining? I feel like I'm giving a sermon right now versus interaction, which is what I enjoy. I enjoy the engagement and speaking together. So let that sit, let that percolate on your reticular activating system today. If you ever have that lower vibration moment where you're like putting someone down, judging, criticizing, you're like, oh, wait, stop. All judgment is self-judgment. I am here to remember who I truly am, and that is oneness, not separateness, and unconditional love. And you can drop it so fast, and you can look through that massage, look through that meat suit, someone's appearance, and really intuitively innately know that every soul is precious, every soul is you, just expressing itself in a different vessel. You are going to accelerate your self-mastery like nothing else. Oh, don't you love these themes? I do. I love them so much. So more on this. When I was I'll end with this. Oh, I'm on a bouncy ball here in my cozy living room because it's cold outside. I was doing a quick meeting with a soul. You remember how from the beginning I said, more and more now I'm meeting tribe. We're magnetizing each other into our existences. And we've preordained this. This was chosen as we are the director, writer, producer, star, casting agent of our movie called Life. We've casted other souls in our movie. And many of them we have danced the eons together through time and space. And we're finding each other faster and faster now. I knew one of them who I recently found. And it was that soul recognition on Facebook from like the get-go. And I was just like, oh, I am supposed to know. I know this person, this soul. And so we were both really busy. We were like, let's just, with no agenda, get on a really quick Zoom. And I remember we had to reschedule it. I had one right after, so it was 25 minutes, which is so difficult to get to know the multidimensional depth and beauty and treasure of another soul. And we both laughed at that. We're like, it's an impossibility. This is like a bite of an appetizer, not even anywhere near the main course. So it was just we call it like speed dating and getting to know someone really quickly. Ding, go. Or we knew it was an impossibility. However, we just from that soul recognition, that claircognizance of knowing, this is how we were. It was like a soul tribe love fest. I'm like, I like you. I have liked you since I found you. And then, I knew this is someone who I've had endless adventures with through time and space. And we laughed about that because you start meeting, or I would call it a reunion with other souls that you've known, and there's that soul recognition. And I had this thought today, this is how I'm going to leave you. When I was out on my 30-degree wind chill walk with tears pouring down my face because it's so cold, which is why we're here by the fireplace, and I was like, there are so many ascended masters are incarnated now on Earth in human character form, one of which I know. If you knew who he is, you'd be like, what? There's many. And there are also many very, very ancient souls here, choosing to be here now with this grand adventure as the Homo sapiens sapien is ascending and waking up and evolving rapidly. There are many ancient souls here. And so here's this funny thought that I'm going to leave you with on this live stream. Think about it. Really, marinate on this. And it's like, we're passing by in daily life, whether it be in person or, or maybe somebody we see in social media, TV, whatever. We're passing by, rubbing elbows all the time with ancient souls that we've danced with through the eons and had adventures with and co-created worlds. And we're finding each other. And isn't it funny? So here's my funny thought. We could be passing ancient souls all the time and have had all this massive history with them and not see them yet. Or maybe a role could be set up to play as a so-called enemy or hater, which is impossibility when it comes to oneness and self-love. But sometimes we create those plot lines, right? I need an enemy for this contrast so I can evolve rapidly and help myself wake up and remember. We're all playing these different parts for each other. We've casted each other in our films called life. So thank you for casting me. It's my pleasure and honor to serve you as another soul in this existence, whether I have a bit role or a deep background or a cameo, or maybe I'm a co-star. Or maybe we will be co-stars. Who knows? Thank you for casting me in your movie called Life. And I appreciate you casting me in yours. Let's have fun with this. Self-mastery. So I talked about self-judgment or judgment today, self-judgment, judgment of others, criticizing and that knee-jerk judgment of the meat suit, what someone looks like on the outside. We're missing out on the treasure within. Go back and watch that part. Oh, this is loaded with gems. One gem could change your life if you let it. Go back and watch this. Share this live stream with others. It could be just what they need to hear today on their journey of awakening. And you are treasure. I see you. It took me a while in this lifetime, right? Out of now my illusory linear years, 48 of them in the human character as Amie Chilson. It took me quite a few decades to really appreciate and know who I am. And now it is my joy, my pleasure, my honor, my bliss to help others. You probably asked me to before we incarnated, to help others remember as well. So share this live stream, go back and watch from the beginning. It's loaded with gems. I'm not sure when the next live stream is going to be. Typically I do them when I'm inspired. I like to stay in flow state, and when it's coming, I just let it flow. Don't think about what I'm going to say really, which is why sometimes I go off on my tangents, but we got to it. We got to the main theme here sooner or later. So share this live stream. I'd love to hear your thoughts, your feedback, your questions in the comments if you're seeing this replay. Mwah. Much love to you. Have a beautiful Saturday, and I will see you on the next video.